Kalaye Sundarakaram Sadaika Priyadarshanam Ajnananashakam Devam Sadgurum Muralidharam Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasadaha Yad Aprasadat Nakatih Kutopi Dhyayan Stuvanstasya Yashastri Sandhyam Vande Guroho Shri Charanaravindam Telivu Guruvin Tirumeni Kandal Telivu Guruvin Tirunamam Cheppal Telivu Guruvin Tiruvartai Kettal Telivu Guruvin Tiruvuruvu Sindittal Dane Sadguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Radhe Radhe and pranams to the wonderful family of our beloved Guru Maharaj, part of our global organization for Divinity. We are all celebrating a very significant event, an event filled with gratitude, event filled with love, event filled with joy, which is the celebration of our Sri Swamiji's jayanthi. This humble servant of our beloved Guru Maharaj has been given this opportunity to remember a few things about the greatness of a Guru. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yesha buddhimatam buddhihi manisha cha manishinam yat satyam andritayanekha martyena apnoti mam amritam. Bhagavan is Jagat Guru, our Bhagavan Sri Krishna, our Thakurji. And he gives a very beautiful set of instructions to his beloved disciple and devotee, Parama Bhagavata, the disciple and devotee of all the gopis and our Swamini also, Sri Uddhava Swami. And it is a part of Uddhava Gita, and Bhagavan finally wraps up Uddhava Gita. It comes in the 11th canto, 29th chapter. And there finally Bhagavan says, this is the wisdom of the wise. This is the cleverness of the clever. This is the intelligence of the intelligent. How do we use this temporary vehicle called the body, staying in a temporary place called the world? How do we use this temporal body and temporary world to get into the state of everlasting amritam or truth and nectarine truth, which is nothing but moksha, which is the state of deathlessness, amrita. With this body which is prone to birth and death, with this world which is not really satyam, 100% satyam, because there is this change in the world, isn't it? How do we stay in this ever-changing world? How do we stay in this body which is prone to birth and death and yet attain the state of deathlessness and the truth? And doing chintan, doing the vichara, doing enquiry and following the path which leads us to the truth and deathlessness, he says, is the intelligence of the intelligent. So true spiritual aspect of our intelligent living is, how do I make sure that I use this birth to not come back again taking another birth? So that is the highest, end. Once we reach that state, because of this tremendous welling of devotion, we may say, I want to take 1,000 births if I become a disciple of this master and all that. That's all separate. That can be talked about only after we are clear that we are in a state where we may not come back again. So when we say koti janmam nanidupen, or I will take 1,000,000 births if required to serve the Guru, that prayer would be true and soulful only when our soul is purified to such an extent that it is ready not to come back again. And in that state, that prayer would be 100% true, isn't it? And so our Bhagavan very beautifully says, this is what is the end of life, the final end, final purpose of life. And for us to get to that purpose of life, we are going to see from Bhagavatam and from our own beloved Guru Maharaj's teachings that a Guru is absolutely essential. Without Guru, it's impossible. And we are going to think a little bit about this great gift which all of us have got in form of a guru, and who is going to bless us if we cooperate with the state of deathlessness or amritam or moksham, or as we bhaktas call golokam or vaikuntham. Finally, that's what a guru's blessing truly is, isn't it? Now, before we talk about a guru, before we talk about such a great descent of divinity like our Swamiji, we need to remember what Brahmaji is talking to Narada Maharshi, okay, in the second canto. Second canto acts as a beautiful summary of the entire Bhagavatam. It also acts as a primer to the rest of the 10 cantos, okay. So it is the one which defines the characteristics of Bhagavatam, Lakshanam, and it also gives the name for the Shastra formally. So it is called Uddesha Lakshanabhyam. The Uddesha means naming something, and Lakshana means giving it unique characteristics, exclusive characteristics. That's Lakshana. And so here Narada Maharshi, our Parikshit is obviously asking Sukamuni, and in the course of the Sukamuni and Parikshit's discussion, he brings in a smaller sub-discussion, a discussion within a discussion, like a reference to the discussion our Narada Maharshi had with his own father, which is Brahma. So for Narada Maharshi, his guru and father is Brahma. For Parikshit, his guru is Shukamuni. So this guru and sishya, while they are discussing, they are referring to another lovely discussion of another guru and another shishya. So Brahmaji talks about the greatness of creation, the greatness of the creator. He invokes one of the most sacrosanct part of our Vedas, the most essential part of all our Vedas, which is called Purusha Sukta. And he expands on Purusha Sukta in great detail. And finally, he tells Narada Maharshi, look here, Narada, I have been telling you all these things about Bhagavan, that he's known by his creation and all that. But then, na aham na yuyam yadhritam gatim viduhu na vamadevaha kimuta pare suraha. Hey, Narada, I am telling about the greatness of Krishna, greatness of Narayana to you, but nobody really knows the essential self or the essential nature of Narayana. Naham, na yuyam, neither you, not me, not even our Rudra, Sri Rudra, knows the complete truth about Bhagavan. What to talk about normal people? Kimuta pare suraha. What to talk about other deities and other devas? Forget other devas, for other normal people. Even other devas won't understand all that. Why? Tan mayaya mohita buddhayastuhu. That people who have been completely infatuated by Bhagavan's Maya, idam vinirmatam cha atmasamam vichakshmahe, idam vinirmitam cha atmasamam vichakshmahe. Nobody can really unravel the real truth about Bhagavan. And then Narada Maharshi says, he must have thought that you say that we cannot even unravel the real truth of Bhagavan, yet you are talking about the various avatars of Bhagavan, and you are talking about Matsya Avatara, Kurma Avatara, etc. Brahma understood that this is the question Narada Maharshi has. So he says, Yasya avatara karmani gayanti asmadadayaha. People like us keep singing the greatness of Bhagavan. Na yam vidhanti tatvena tasmai bhagavate namaha. Even though we keep talking about the various anecdotes associated with this great avatara, we talk about the sweetness, greatness of Bhagavan, etc. Even though people like us talk about the greatness of Bhagavan, etc., we don't know the real tattva, the real truth of that Bhagavan completely. To that Bhagavan I prostrate. Yavad bahistito vaknihi prakato va vishennahi Tavad antastitopi yesha nadaru dahanakshamaha. While talking about the greatness of the avatars, a Mahatma very beautifully quips that a wood is there, it is a firewood, it is actually it's a fuel, right? It's a firewood. Obviously, firewood has fire in it, what we generally call in scientific terms as calorific value or whatever, the extent to which you can get energy from the wood. That's fire in the wood, isn't it? This Mahatma, when he is talking about avatara, says it is a fact that wood by nature has the capacity or has the potency of fire inside, but will that fire in the wood make it burn on its own accord? That potency in the wood needs to come outside in form of divinity, and that divinity has to associate itself with that wood. Like for example, the example given is Agni. Because this Mahatma himself is a very embodiment of Vaishvanara, which is the face of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he gives the same example, Vaishvanara example. He says for a wood which is inherently having fire in it, to burn and to give that energy, it needs an external fire to kindle its internal fire so that it burns off. Right? And this Mahatma very beautifully says, that is the reason why, even though, as Swami Vivekananda says, each of us are potentially divine, consciousness is within all, that is fine. Are we able to manifest? Touch your heart and tell me. It's impossible. You need that same consciousness, that same fire in the firewood to come out from outside in form of a lit fire so that it connects with the firewood and then the whole firewood burns, isn't it? Likewise, our Uddhava Swami is saying the same thing, that look here, when our Bhagavan has to actually come in form of Acharya outside, and he is glowing as Paramatma or Antaryami or consciousness inside, when there is a connection between an external Acharya and our inner soul, only then we can attain the purpose of life. And so he is looking at Krishna and tells something very profound. He says, hey Krishna, you are the one who comes externally in form of a guru. You are the actual Paramatma or consciousness inside me. Yo antaf bhagihi tanubrutam ashubham vidhunvanne acharya chaitya vapusha swagatim vyanakti. Beautifully, he is saying, when we get a Purna Satguru, it is Bhagavan Sri Krishna who is right inside us as Antaryami. He also takes a form of a Guru outside, so that the moment the inner Guru and the outer Guru both connect with each other, that which is in between, which is all these Ashubham. Ashubham means all those karma, all those vasanas, etc. are completely burnt. So, when we are somehow associated with a Guru, it is an outer manifestation of the divinity whom we call Bhagavan or Brahman or Paramatma, so that we can actually elevate ourselves to the state of a pure spiritual being, or what is called as moksha, you see. And that is the reason why you are all sitting here listening to the greatness of a Guru, because if even one of you were not to be touched by the divine or benediction of our Guru Maharaj, you wouldn't be sitting in this satsang. So each of you, I am sure, are in some way touched by our beloved Guru Maharaj. Maybe he touched our soul by a smile, or maybe he touched our soul by some assuring words when we needed it the most during crisis. Or maybe he just nodded his head when we submitted a prayer and thereby touched our soul. Or maybe he actually gave us a prasadam. Maybe he gave us a mantra, okay? Or maybe you heard him either remotely or directly in a hall, and his words and his very darshan must have touched each one of you somewhere. Which is the reason why we are all here together now, celebrating with gratitude and love. So, That is what a guru's job is, you see. And many people who don't understand Guru, none of us in this group, they generally ask a question, is Guru, why do I need a Guru? When I can directly approach Bhagavan, is Guru, I don't need somebody who is a middleman. Now, it's very derogatory, but still we need to answer their questions. Guru is not a middleman at all, you see. And Swamiji gave a very lovely example, which you must have heard in a recent video. I was there when he explained it. It was so beautiful. He said, look here, recently we had a very unfortunate series of events in form of a pandemic. And some of us would have been unfortunate to have caught the pandemic, or we might have known somebody who must have caught a pandemic. It was pretty widespread. Now the person who got the pandemic did not get on his or own accord, isn't it? No amount of effort on the person would have made that person get that virus. He contacted that virus through the connection with somebody who already had the virus, right? And that person did not think himself or herself to be a middleman between virus and this person. That person just had that. And in some way, when we come in connection or in contact with that person, whether we liked it or not, we somehow caught it, you see. And then we also had that virus. It's a very, reverse example of what we are trying to tell here. Likewise, that divine wisdom within or the divine love for Bhagavan within can never be self-generated. It needs to be bestowed by somebody who embodies it. And the person who embodies it does not consider himself as a middleman between us and Bhagavan. That love, that lovely flame, which is the example given by that Mahatma, that flame which he embodies as divine love or divine wisdom, and the moment that flame comes in contact with us, we are potentially having that flame of divinity within all of us. That's the Antaryami insight. When a guru, which is also an embodiment of divinity, divinity nale Krishna, comes in contact with us, that divinity insight starts triggered, you see. And a transformation happens. And all the other things which happens around us, whether it is arti, artharti, jignasu, whatever it is, it can be something to do with, I had a problem, I went to this great Mahatma, our Guru Maharaj, he solved the problem. You might have heard a million anecdotes about it. Or I was struggling with a big problem. I was struggling with a sorrow, unspeakable sorrow, loss of somebody who is very close to me, very inseparable part of me. And I could not find that repose. I could not find that peace. Wherever I went, I tried reading, I tried attending some satsangs, I tried going to various pilgrim spots. I tried everything, but I could not get rid of this sinking feeling of sorrow in me. The moment I went and sat at the feet of our master, which is our Swamiji, I found that peace which was eluding me. I've heard many stories like that. Now, for a normal, no big catastrophic crisis in our life type of people, we may not even understand that great relief which these people are feeling. Our Swamiji gives a lovely example for this also. For a person who has been walking for a long time, very sweaty, it was a humid climate, and the person is feeling dry, the person is very thirsty, and in that state, when that person is in the pangs of thirst, and the skin is dry and humid, you understand, right? When that person finds a beautiful river gurgling with crystal clear water, and the person jumps into the river, drinks deep into its waters and bathes in that river, that joy of the person, that relief of the person, somebody who keeps on drinking water every now and then, even though that person lives in the bank of the self-same river, will never realize it, isn't it? The person who is thirsty only will understand the true value of water. Not the person who drinks water every now and then and there is water available there. That person won't understand. Likewise, our Swamiji says the real peace and the joy and the repose we get in the company of a guru can be understood only by people who had really seen the nadir, really seen the trough of one's life, and not knowing what to do and feeling completely desolate. When those people come to our satsang and have darshan of Swamiji, I have seen them transform. I have seen them somehow manage their sorrow and get on with life. This nobody else can give, no other agency can give, isn't it? So that's what a guru for. You see, that's why he is there. To make sure that a transformation happens in all of us. The transformation of love, a transformation of wisdom. And our Swamiji very beautifully says this. We think that we came into a satsang out of our own volition. But very beautifully, our Swamiji quotes the various Mahatmas and also our Bhagavatam. In the episode of Pingala, you all know Pingala. It is in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam. She goes through a lot of sorrow in her life. And one day she realizes that this is not the way to live. Why should I waste my life like this? I have my beloved Lord, Bhagavan Sri Vishnu, right inside as my beloved consort, right inside as my antaryami. Why do I seek a company of some other man? She thinks. Okay. And then she thinks, for so long I have not got this idea or I have not got this thought. Suddenly I am getting a little bit of dispassion. I am getting a little vairagyam from things which hurt me, which hurt my soul, which hurts my very purpose of life. How did I get this positive directional thought which eluded me for so long? And suddenly I had that realization, not intellectually, actually. She says, I must have done something in the past, however so trivial. Vishnu or Bhagavan must have been very happy with that act of mine. And so he is blessing me with this thought of dispassion towards actions and decisions and choices which actually hurt my spiritual well-being. So she says, somehow, avhahitu or avyaja kripaya Vishnoho, by some inexplicable stroke of Vishnu's grace, I am now turning the right way. Right? Satsang, especially with a Mahatma, especially with a divine descent, especially with the divine descent of Bhagavad Dharma, who shows such a simple, lovely path of chanting divine names, listening to Bhagavad Katha, doing smarana, leading a beautiful, balanced family life. Getting into such a company of a Mahatma, he is living in the same time as we are living, and some of us have seen him in person. He at times have talked to us. Some of us are fortunate for him to even remember our name. You see, all that, Bhagavan must have been extremely pleased with us. Otherwise, how will we get this? By extension. And somehow we got into this beautiful satsang of a divinity, of something which is so divine. Sadguru is Guru Sakshat Parabrahman, no doubt about it. Our Swamiji very beautifully says, he has very beautifully interpreted a lovely work of our Sri Ramana Bhagavan. In that he says, it's an Arunachala Akshara Manamala. It's a lovely marital garland of love and wisdom offered by Ramana Bhagavan to Arunachala himself. In that he says, no kiye kardi maita kiye pakkuvama kini andarul Arunachala. In that he talks about, on the surface, he talks about three types of connection or sambandham with a guru. Now all these three types of connection has nothing to do with me as an individual. It has everything to do with Guru as the one who blesses me. What are the three types of connection? Nokiye. When a guru looks at a disciple, he somehow, the disciple somehow comes under the attention of a guru. Let us put it that way. I saw you, I see you, you say, right? And next is karidiye, when a guru thinks about a disciple. And mei takiye, when a guru touches a disciple, physically connects with a disciple. And with these three, you make me mature, you transform me and somehow rule over me, so that I become completely pure, completely full and complete, you see. Here our Swamiji very beautifully said, one way of looking at it, which is the mainstream view, is there are three types in which a guru blesses a disciple. One is by gazing or looking at a disciple with kripa kataksham as we say. And the second thing is remembering a disciple. The third thing is touching a disciple or giving a prasadam, which is touched by a guru. Both are same. Suppose a guru, our Swamiji takes an apple and gives it to a devotee or a disciple. There is a touch through this apple. Prasadam is the medium of our connection with him. Our Swamiji very beautifully reinterprets that with Guru as the focus here. How does a sishya come into the fold of a guru? Okay. Now let me tell you, Guru's actions are always guided by divinity because he is divinity himself. For example, if I am trying to pick something from my hand is directed by my brain. So I am directing my hand in a sense that my hand and I don't separate it at all. Likewise, Bhagavan and a Guru need not be separated. And our Swamiji himself says, Hari and Guru are one and the same. They are the same agency. So now, because of whatever we did, okay, or because of whatever prayers our parents or grandparents did, or because of whatever it is, for some reason, let us not get into it because we won't know, adrishtam, okay, for some inexplicable reason, which is, I would say, for no reason known to me, which is causeless, you see, a guru somehow remembers or thinks about a soul, which is you, me, everybody. That is the first step. Karidi. A guru thinks about that soul. A guru can think about the soul by hearing about that person through somebody, which is all in the physical plane. But then look here. It is my 100% conviction that it is not necessary for a guru who is truly a descent of divinity. They don't need any trigger on the physical plane. Actually, nobody need to tell him I have a friend who is in America and all that stuff. I'll tell you why I am encouraged to have that conviction. Apart from the fact that I have anecdotes around me, and apart from that, I always want to derive such truths from our Shastras because we are a tradition, we are a sampradaya, we are not a cult, okay? So in Bhagavatam, very beautifully, Kunti Devi is listing the various blessings bestowed by Krishna to her family. And she has physically, along with her children, seen Krishna only during the marriage of Draupadi. But then the list of kripa she received from Bhagavan Sri Krishna starts from the time when Bhima, Vishan Mahagne, it starts from the time when Bhima was a child and he was poisoned by Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. Now, Bhagavan Sri Krishna was not physically connected with them, you see. But then, Kunti Devi realized, Bhagavan need not come in front of us for us to be connected to him or for him to be connected to us. She understood right from the time I took birth, or even before I took this birth, there is this connection between me and my Guru, me and my Jagat Guru. Because finally she ends with saying, Narayana, Akila Guru, Bhagavan Namaste. So she looks upon Krishna as Guru. And so, a Guru knows each of us. That's 100%. No doubt about it. And many times I have seen physically, actually I have seen with some of you also. When I take either you or somebody whom you say that they belong to our city, they won't have darshan of Swamiji. When I've taken a person for the first time before our Swamiji, at times Swamiji has said, "Now na pathirkene," he has said that. And this new person, out of all the naivete, very naive, he says, no, Swami, this is the first time I am seeing you. That's not what Swamiji said. Swamiji didn't say, you must have seen me before. Swamiji simply said, I have seen you. Right? You see? And the moment the person says, no, it's the first time, Swami says, oh, okay, that's it. And then things become casual. Earlier days, I don't understand. But now I think I am getting to understand, by His grace, of course, a little bit of what He is saying. Some of the people I take before our Swamiji, before I start explaining who they are, Theriyume, he says. Out of my naivete, I have at times said, Swamiji, he is coming for the first time, this is his name, this is her name, this is where they come from. And Swamiji immediately smiles and listens to everything. Remember these two words Swamiji said. Now, na pathirkene, I have seen him before, is one. And I know him. Second. You see? Once Swamiji explained to me how a sishya somehow is drawn to the Guru, Nokiye karidi mei takiye pakkuvam aki. Before a Guru is connected to a sishya on a physical plane, which is what I think is the literal translation of mei takiye, which means physically getting connected between a Guru and a sishya, two things happen. Nokiye karidi. Noki means to see. And kardi means to think about and think of. So I have realized, when we think we bring a new devotee to the satsang, that's what even a devotee thinks. I am coming for the first time, I knew. Many of us even ask people like us, can you be there when I am there? And I used to laugh out loud inside. I would say laugh in loud. You see, my goodness, he knows you, you will know him. Actually, I am not required at all. But then we are new to a satsang. And so people ask, and I, fine. It gives me tremendous pleasure to see, another wonderful brother or sister of ours getting blessed by Swamiji. So I am happy with it. So here, when Swamiji has said to some that, now na pathirkene, I have seen you before, isn't it? That is what has brought that person here in the first place. So the first step is, a Guru thinks about a soul or a disciple who needs to come to him for completion, irrespective of where you are born, irrespective of where you grew up, irrespective of your background, whether it is religious, spiritual, family, whatever it is. Finally, it is written, he is the one who is going to elevate us, uplift us. So irrespective of that, all type of people gravitate towards such a descent, isn't it? So when a Guru says, I have seen you, I know you, our Swamiji very beautifully says, out of his, I suspect, he didn't tell that in so many words, out of our Swamiji's own experience is what I inferred, okay, with my little understanding. First, a Guru beckons a sishya by remembering that sishya. By thinking about that sishya. And you see that physically manifested in another Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, in Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's life. Those Mahatmas openly expressed it. Our Swamiji rarely openly expresses it. So every person who is connected in the most, can I use the word slightest way also, has been connected because of the sankalpa or the actual intention from our beloved Sri Swamiji, you see. So the first thing which happens is, a Guru thinks about kardi, thinks about a sishya. And when a guru thinks about a sishya, that's when the entire journey starts. The sishya may not even realize. Because we don't know our background, right? What do we know about our own self? What do we know about our earlier birth? We don't know. And the first step we all must have taken has been taken by Guru, our Swamiji, who thought about this person. You, me, anybody. And that is how the first step happens. And then his attention turns on that disciple, which is seeing. When a guru turns on the attention to that person, which is Noki, he sees that person. That's when the physical connection happens, sambandham, connection happens. And then a guru gives prasadam. I have rarely seen anybody go without a prasada of a connection with his touch, mei takiye. A guru need not physically touch everybody. When he takes a fruit and gives to us, that's mei taki. It is touched by the guru. The fruit is no longer a fruit. It is a medium of blessing, grace from Bhagavan, from Guru. And that is how, when our Swamiji says, I have seen you, I know you, and we protest saying, no, there is no chance at all. This is the first time I'm coming, really, you see. And we realize it a little late, but fine, we'll enjoy it later, you see. And that is how our journey starts. And a guru's job is not just the superficial peace or superficial solving of our problems. That's what we want, right? Because we don't know what moksha is. We don't know what prema is. All that we don't know. But a guru knows, na? So his intention will always be somehow sustain this connection, because a guru knows if the connection is lost, then we will go down the negative spiral, because that which uplifts us is the guru only, not us, not our sadhana, etc. It is the connection with the guru which sustains the spiritual current in us. So he would ensure that the connection is never lost, you see. And then he would get this motherly affection towards the disciple. And even the smallest act of a disciple is celebrated like a mother celebrates smallest act of a child. If the child is a tottering child, okay, even if the child walks a few steps, mother feels very happy and says, this child has really walked 2 steps today. When you are an elder brother, say 10 years old, you will think, what is the big deal? The child is only walking 2 steps. Why is he, praising so much as a mother or as a father? But then for that child, that amount of appreciation is required from the mother for it to grow. Na? For a 10-year-old child, the mother will be very happy even if the child solves the problem 50%. When I say 50% solution, what is 2 plus 2? The child says 2. 50% right, chalo. And the mother is happy. When a mother does that, a 16-year-old will think, why is this mother celebrating so much? I can tell 2 plus 2 is 4 right now. In that level, that amount of joy a mother will express to the child so that the child needs to grow. Likewise, a guru, our Swamiji, when somebody chants once, a new person chants once, the person, you are chanting once every day, very good, so happy. And we think, I have been chanting 10 times, he's not saying very good to me. Why should he? You are in a different stage. And Guru's intention is always uplift, uplift, uplift. It's absolutely foolhardiness to compare all this, you see. And of course, it's foolhardiness to compare siblings. Imagine in spirituality, you see. Nirmatsaranam satam na. So no comparison at all there. So a guru's job now is to somehow silently, without at times even us realizing or knowing, transformation happens. That is the job of a guru. Solving our problems, giving us a little seva, appreciating us, all that are brick by brick, he is building to slowly elevate us. And as Swamiji has said regarding another Mahatma, nothing is casual with a Mahatma. By extension, it is fitting our Swamiji also. If our Swamiji talks to 2 people and a third person is a bystander there will be a message for the bystander. There will be some significance of that person standing when these 2 people were addressed by our Swamiji. I have seen it. Just like how when Uddhava Swami and our Maitreya, both were there before Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Bhagavan told Maitreya that Vidura has a little bit of questions. I am not able to answer all the questions. Can you be my representative and answer the questions of Vidura in the presence of Uddhava Swami? This is what happened in Bhagavatam. And why should Uddhava Swami be present when the instruction is for Maitreya Swami? Because Uddhava Swami is going to meet Vidura. Uddhava Swami is the messenger to tell Vidura, Krishna remembered you, you go and surrender to this Guru. Go and surrender to Maitreya. It will be perfect. If you are a little more alert and attentive, you can find beautiful, play, divine play happening around you. Nothing is casual. Everything a Guru selflessly does to elevate us spiritually. And for that path, if we need to be taken care materially, we need to be taken care physical health-wise, we need to be taken care mental health-wise, we need to be taken care with all this little stuff of the life, a Guru will get involved in that also. But a Guru's job, finally, is not all this. When I say job, I mean its kripa is really to transform us. And what a Guru will ask of us is cooperate. He won't give anything or task us anything which we cannot do. It will always be something very simple. And Guru would be he would be also expecting a little Shraddha. That's only currency in, elevating ourselves. When a Guru says just chant 11 times Mahamantra daily, if we continue doing that, believe me, it's your experience also, he knows. You will get the actual fruit of it, we will realize it. This is something which is a personal experience for all of us. That is the beauty of Guru's Kripa. And that is the gift we all have. Never ever should I lose sight of why am I in the satsang? For prema, for jnana, to make this life term something which is fruitful, to attain Bhagavan who is no different from Guru, all that is different. But that's why I am in a satsang, to elevate myself, not to develop contacts, not to think that I think I am in a satsang, etc. All that is trivial. I am here because somehow Bhagavan and Guru, same agency, has taken interest in my spiritual welfare. Even if I do the smallest thing, even if I remember him once in a day, that's another thing I need to share with you. When we need to make, for example, an emergency call. For example, I am in a tight spot, I need to make an emergency call. I need my phone to be always charged, isn't it? If I don't bother charging up my phone, during emergency, I am going to finding it very difficult for me to use that phone. And if I am not even sure whether it is charged or not, greater trouble. Likewise, we are all going to resort to the feet of Guru whenever some problem knocks our door. I am praying none of it knocks our door. But then every now and then we have to charge this phone. And that is exactly what our Swamiji is asking of all of us. That which gives him the most tremendous joy is chanting the divine name. Whenever possible, if we keep on charging that connection, you see, between us and the Guru, connection is Mahamantra. Connection is remembering our Guru. Connection is doing what he asked us to do. If we can somehow keep that connection alive by chanting, by remembering. And let me also add a little one, because we are all a close-knit family. I am giving something very personal to you. If you want to progress in your spiritual life, the easiest way for us to do is Telivu Guruvin Tiruvuru Sindithal Dhane. You see, it starts with Telivu Guruvin Tirumeni Kandal. It ends with Telivu Guruvin Tiruvuru Sindithal Dhane. It means whenever you want to go deep, either in bhakti or in meditation or whatever path Guru has given us, maybe in jnana vichara, whatever it is, yoga, the easiest way I have personally seen is if you can somehow remember the beautiful form of our Sri Swamiji, immediately mind is silenced, I assure you. But to get that form in the heart is difficult because it is pure sattva. The form which is tamasam is very easy. gory forms, dreadful forms. In the world we see some gory details and stuff in the world. That is very easy for the mind to remember. That's why we get nightmares. Enticing forms which are attractive is Rajasam. To remember that is also not difficult. If you have the passion for something, you will remember that. That's what we dream about also every now and then. Sattvika, beautiful forms, we get that chintana when the mind is a little silent and peaceful and harmonious. But the Sutta Sattvam transcends these three qualities. The form of our Guru, and it is not an accident that the divinity took this form, because it's going to aid for generations to come to progress in spirituality, to progress in prema, to progress in controlling the mind. And that is the reason why we can refresh the connection by remembering his lovely form, by remembering a few words he must have told us. This is something I keep repeating. These words I can never forget because it has been a great gift to me. He once went to a small town, and there was this devotee of our Swamiji who accompanied Swamiji all through the satsang, and whenever Swamiji travels in the car, he will chant Mahamantra once, and the one who drove him around will chant Mahamantra once, alternatively. 3 or 4 days passed by like 4 seconds. Swamiji was ready to leave. This person who was the key contact, who was the one who organized, coordinated, drove Swamiji around, he felt very sad. And then he went close to our Swamiji and told him, Swami, when you come and spend some time with us, at that point of time we are able to chant constantly. But the moment you leave, we are not able to chant Nama at all constantly. Lot of distraction. Swamiji smiled and told him, if you also can chant Nama constantly, what is the difference between you and me? In a lighter way. And all the people around had a hearty laugh, including the person who had a heavy heart was immediately lightened. And that person told me, when I met next time, he told the whole episode was joyous to listen, to remember, to retell you. He said, whenever I feel sad, that at times I am not chanting enough, I am not, doing Nama enough, I remember this smile, mischievous smile of the Guru, and his loving words which chided me like this. And immediately my heart becomes light. And immediately I find sudden gush of Nama coming in my lips. You see? And all that person needs to do is remember these few words. That one sentence of the Swamiji is enough for him to attain the peak of spirituality. One word, one gesture, one little form is enough. That's how we renew our connection with the Guru. Chanting the name which is most beloved to the Guru is the number one way. Chanting Mahamantra. What is he asking? Chant 11 times. In the morning, maybe in the evening, before sleep. That's all he asks. Nothing. We can easily do that. Remembering his lovely form. That's the whole Dhyana shloka. Kalaye sundarakaram sadaika priyadarshanam ajnana nashakam devam sadgurum muralidharam. This shloka Swamiji is described in this shloka, and it's a beautiful description. He is saying, let me consider or let me contemplate on the wonderful, beautiful form of our Guru, which is always pleasing to look at. And the extension of that for some very, one-pointed devotees of our Swamiji is, after looking at Swamiji's face, I am not able to look at any other face. Sadaika priyadarshana. Sada eka priyadarshana. Which is a beautiful phrase taken from Ramayana with respect to Ramachandra Prabhu. And if I contemplate on the lovely form of my Guru, what happens? Ajnana nashakam devam. That Swami, that wonderful form of our Guru would completely erase all ignorance in our heart and fill us with bliss. Sadgurum Muralidhara. And that is how we renew the connections. So we are all going to celebrate our Swamiji's jayanthi. If you can remember that wonderful shining countenance and this entire form of our Guru, I'll tell you, it is equivalent to 1,000 japa to silence the mind. What pleases him the most? I think that which pleases him the most is Mahamantra. That which pleases him the most is celebrating our Thakurji and our Madhuri Sakhi. That which pleases him the most is acts of true compassion and kindness towards people who are in need. And this actually happened. Swamiji sent one of his disciples to a city where those satsang people wanted to go and serve in a rehabilitation center where people are afflicted with leprosy. So obviously you know how cruel leprosy is. Some of them didn't have some fingers in the hands, some of them had festered wounds. So there is disciple along with the lovely devotees of the satsang took lot of annam, food, and took lot of vastram. Swamiji has blessed that disciple. You go and do that seva, and Krishna blesses all of you. This disciple went there and gave annadanam. Now when you see somebody who is, say, not that much endowed as you or I, or that person who is not as healthy as you and I, that person is afflicted, is in some pain, and they are having parts of their fingers missing and all that stuff, that person comes with a plate to take food from that disciple's hand. That disciple should have felt pity, na? Thankfully, he didn't feel that. That disciple should have felt compassion, na? Believe me, that disciple did not feel compassion also. What that disciple felt was reverence. For that 1 hour, that disciple was actually thinking that each lady who came afflicted with wounds and festered wounds, not able to walk properly, fingers missing, hands out with a plate, he actually saw that he is serving Radharani in each of the ladies who came there, the afflicted. And each of the gents who came there, the disciple felt as if he is actually doing puja. You know, when you do puja, you offer food, na, bhog. He felt that for 1 hour. And when the disciple went, I know what the disciple told Guru, obviously. And the disciple said that experience was very different. It bordered around bliss, reverence, and love for the people, not pity and compassion. Swamiji said, yes, that is how Bhagavan's blessing will be when you please a Guru or Bhagavan. You see, our Swami Vivekananda used to say, Daridra Devo Bhava. Artha Devo Bhava. People who are afflicted, people who are Daridras, they are all Narayana. We all will worship Gomata. We all will worship Ashwata Narayana. Let it be there. We need to worship. Also worship the afflicted as Narayana. Also worship the sick as Narayana. Serve them like you will serve Bhagavan. That pleases Swamiji. You see, on this auspicious time, when our Swamiji's jayanthi is celebrated, worship those who are at need as our divine couple, and you will be certainly, Bhagavan, our Swamiji will be pleased with us. Let us do Mahamantra as much possible. That will please him. Let us do Radha Krishna Yugala Puja as much possible. That will please him. Let us do Bhagavata Parayanam. It will please him. And these are things which pleases our Swamiji. So I think that will be an apt way to celebrate our beloved Master's Jayanthi. Our Uddhava Swami says, even if 1,000,000 Brahmas all over the lifetime of say 4 zillion trillion years keep showing their gratitude, keep singing the greatness of the benedictions received from a Guru, even 1,000,000 lives of Brahma would be completely inadequate to the grace of a Guru and our gratitude to the grace of the Guru. You see. And so remember this, we will never ever understand the entirety of who the Guru is. We'll never know. Never. Because he is way beyond. Forget human intellect and all that. He is way beyond even Brahma's intellect. Okay. But if we keep talking about him, if we keep remembering him, if we keep doing things which pleases our Guru, maybe we will realize who we are and get a small ray of understanding of who he might be. Atma Sakshatkara will happen. But to understand the entirety of divinity, which is a Guru, is impossible. And when we say, oh, Swamiji, I know that Swamiji, I laugh in aloud. You see, who will understand such a Swami? Mahatmas don't understand, our Swamiji. You think you or I say, I know him? We'll never know him. We will know maybe a small particle of him, which is filled with love, which is filled with grace, which is filled with compassion, which is filled with divinity. And our Ramakrishna Paramahamsa beautifully sums it up. For a little ant, even if there is a big mountain of sugar, it can handle only a small particle of that sugar, and that small particle of sugar is more than enough for the ant. We are the ants. And this Swamiji is a big mountain, a Madhura, it's a Madhuragiri of divinity, love, compassion, wisdom. We can take a small iota from him. It will be more than what we can handle. And that is a blessing for us if we get it. So once again, it has been a very remarkable day for me to remember the greatness of our Guru, to share with you the joy and the gratitude that we are all in this wonderful satsang under the watchful gaze of our beloved Swamiji. And we are all poised to celebrate his jayanthi. May the jayanthi celebration go unabated, without any obstacles, and let it be a grand source of joy to all of us. Let more and more people find the joy in association with you all, and hence by extension our Swamiji. And may Sri Swamiji's jayanthi bring in more and more auspiciousness, peace, understanding, acceptance and harmony to the current world, which is the crying need of this world. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Sadguru Maharaj ki jai. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami premamrutam yo muralini Shri Krishna rupena puravarsha adhyapi soyam Muralidharakyo pushnati premna bhuvanam saharsham. Madhuri Sakhi Sameta Premika Varda Thakurji ki jai. Shri Aishwarya Srinivasa Bhagavan ki jai. Sadguru Maharaj ki jai. Radhe Radhe.